Well, I think we're excited to get back home and play a ranked opponent who's playing really good in Virginia. Definitely a team that has played really good football through 5 games. Talented. They've been battle tested. They've gotten better each and every year. Our last 2 years against them, we've had to come from behind in both games to find a way to win. And this team is playing very sharp and very crisp, and we'll have our work cut out for us. So we've got to definitely improve in some key areas and work hard to get better this week and get guys as healthy as we can and get ready to go out and try to find a way to win. But I do think our guys, did a great job of working hard, playing tough, playing to the end, showing grit and toughness the last game. And as we say, behind closed doors, we're going to have to do that every game, especially in conference games if you want to find a way to win. That's just how football works. So we've got to continue to improve on some things, but show toughness every game until the very end and hope that we're winning when the game's over.
Jeff, when you look at Chandler Morris, specifically kind of what he did against Florida State, who I guess would you say he's comparable to in teams that or quarterbacks that you faced, and how does that kind of dictate how you kind of want to defend him?
Well, he's played very well. I think he has the ability to run, and he scored numerous touchdowns with his feet and extend the play, and those guys are hard to defend. So we will have our work cut out for us. We've got to take away their passing game and do as good a job as we can with that. Then they'll mix in some downhill runs. But him getting on the edge on the perimeter has gotten him some key touchdowns in key situations. He can extend and make a play as well. He's played a lot of football, a lot of different places. His dad was a coach, so he's smart. So, yes, we'll have to play really good on defense in order to find a way to stop him in the offense.
If you mentioned key areas you wanted to improve on, what are some of those?
Well, there's a lot. I think we've got to make sure we try to clean up these penalties that we've been getting, especially 15-yarders on both sides of the ball. We've got to make sure we're not getting as many holding calls as we've gotten, which has been something that's got to get clean. That's one. I think we've got to find ways to run the football, and if that means being a little more creative in what we're doing, whatever we got to do. But no matter what, we've got to do a good job there. I think I think we can play better up front, and I think we can block better, and I think we've got to be able to react to movement up front and blitzes and people playing downhill a little bit better, and we got to work hard this week to make sure we do that. Defensively, I knew we would be tested, and I think we gave up some big pass plays over our head, really in man-to-man coverage, where we got to do a good job of staying on top. And we talk about it all the time, but we just haven't been run by like we were the last game a couple times. But we improved and did a really good job in the second half. And, I think special teams has been pretty solid. Now, we've had multiple penalties on special teams, so that can't happen. But I just think there's some small areas that we've got to really clean up and sharpen up in order to be more efficient playing the game.
What's your evaluation of Villanova compared to the first 3 quarters last? What's the difference between that? Was it mentally, mechanically, the play calling? What would you?
Well, I think Miller's an accurate passer. He can deliver the ball on time if we're spacing things out for him, getting guys in right spots. I think certain guys are good at play action, and certain guys are good at pushing up the field. I think I don't want to give you all the secrets, but I think he can. If you get guys open quickly for him, he can put the ball on them and very accurately and do good things. So we just got to continue to work through a few things and make sure that we're doing what he does best while continuing to develop some other things and sharpening that up. But, he played tough, and he hung in there, and he did what he had to do as a quarterback, which is the most important thing, and that's just keep playing. You're going to make a mistake every now and then. Of course, he locked in on a receiver on the interception, which, we had a guy underneath that he could easily thrown to, but it happened. He's got to have a little more patience early on in the pocket and sit in there and stand firm. But there's a lot of little things, but it falls on the whole team, even when we're doing well and not doing as well. But yes, he can sharpen things up. We'll work hard this week to do that. But he got in a good rhythm in the second half and did a good job.
Jeff, I'm curious, when you have a comeback like you guys did in Pittsburgh, is there an impact on the team, like in the locker room, the team unity, that you can sense as a coach about how that might bring them closer together?
Well, I do think that right now that is the strength of our team and has been. I think, we talk about it. It's communicated quite a bit what we believe the game is about and how it's supposed to be played. And you're going to get the ball 10 to 12 times a game, and what you do with it will determine if you win or lose. So you're going to have some good moments and some that aren't as good, especially when you're playing good teams. You like to say we can dominate and win every rep and outcoach them and outplay them, but they've got good coaches and good players too, so you've just got to find a way to do it a little bit more than they do and realize that it'll be a little bit back and forth. There'll be some momentum swings, but you can't give in. You got to play to the end. You got to compete and play hard. You got to stick together. You can't point fingers, and you just got to play to the end and hope. Like I said at the end, the scoreboard is in our favor. But as soon as you give in, or second guess, or doubt, or start to get angry and upset too much instead of locking in and focusing in, you're not going to win the game. So I credit our team and our coaches. We definitely had the mental toughness to just keep playing. We've showed it before last year in a couple games. We've had multiple games in the history here that we've been down, and you just got to play to the end. So I think our guys understand that pretty well, and you hope that we continue to have that same mental toughness, because sometimes it's hard and it's not easy, but you got to communicate it and look each other in the eye and let each other know that we're going to play this thing to the end and just keep on playing, and hopefully the momentum swings to your side.
Jeff, how much attention do you pay to the polls? How much stock do you put into them? Louisville is one of only two teams in a Power Four conference undefeated that's not ranked, and just wonder how you look at that.
Well, I haven't looked at it a whole lot. Of course, who you play and the record and all that and how you finish the year before, all that factors into it. And it is what it is. I think, in the end, for us, we'll be judged on how we do at the end of the season. And there'll be some judgment passed in between then, which is normal and common and okay. But you got to play to the end, even not just the game, the end of the season. And, you've got to be able to handle wins and losses. You look at the national championship team last year, they had 2 losses. So, yes, you don't want to lose, and you're going to work hard not to have it happen. But if it does, you've got to be able to circle the wagons and improve and dig down deep and find a way to win the next one. At the same time, when you do win, if you let off the gas, or if you think that you don't have to really grind it out this week, you're not going to win the next week. So all those things can happen, and you have to mentally talk and communicate, hey, let's understand here's where we're at, and just hope that we can win one game at a time. So right now we've got a really good opponent that's hot. It's coming into our stadium. They've already played us extremely tight the last 2 years and had a lead on us in the fourth quarter both times. So they know how to play football and they know how to coach, and right now they're playing very confident, and we've got to be as efficient as we can and come into this game swinging and see if we can pull it out at the end of 4 quarters.
One of the stars of your game were actually one of your ball boys, Zeffie and Wade. What did you know about that occurring, and did you know he had that much fight in him while it was going on?
Well, you're not talking about Rocco having fight and toughness, but no, I'm just teasing. No, you know what? I did not know it was going on until after the game. I'm like you guys. It was enjoyable to see someone fight for our ball back, even though we gave it to him for a touchdown. Especially with the energy and enthusiasm he had. And you know what? He's tough too. So I think he may hear some of our talks and watched our team play, and he wanted to win as much as any of us. And he's been with us for a long time now. And all those guys play a role, and they're fun to be around. And all those ball guys and equipment guys love football, and they wish they were out there on the field. So he definitely stood up for the Cards, and we're proud of him.
Jeff, you talked a lot in the preseason about the potential that Chris had to take the next level, and he showed the other day a couple of those catches were tough, and some yards after catch and the touchdown. Can you just talk about his game and what you've seen so far through 4 games with Chris?
Well, you know what? He did step up, and he showed toughness, and he showed stamina, and he played hard to the end. And I just think, when you're a receiver, we had a lot of snaps compared to them. I think we had 90, and maybe they had 50. Uh, you know, that's a lot of plays to go full speed, and he's getting pressed the entire time. And there were a couple times where, man, you gotta find a way to make that play. But after that, he stepped up and made a ton of plays. And I just think, um, at the receiver position, we have some other receivers. We need to be able to spell them a little bit and keep them sharp. But at the same time, when you're in there, you got to know, hey, I've got to go full speed, and I've got to be physical, and I've got to run my route hard. And I don't know when the ball's coming to me, but it is. I got to be ready to make that happen. And he definitely stepped up and made a ton of plays for us. The passing game got a little bit going when we kind of had to throw a little bit more in the second half. And that's why you've got to be able to do both. You got to be able to run the ball. You got to be able to pass the ball. And you never know when you're going to need one or the other. So it was good to kind of get that going a little bit at the end. But he definitely made some strong catches. He's got a strong body. He can body him off and bring the pass in, and then he can get yards after the catch. So I think he's just like him and Colin and even some of the other receivers that are coming on. All of them are going to have to play a role and make some key catches. And if teams are taking away the run, which easily can, if they want to at this level, especially the NFL, you see all the time. If a team wants to stop the run, they can stop the run. You've got to be able to throw the ball. And then once again, there's other situations where you got to mix in the run and pop off some yards. So, but definitely, Chris played a really good job.
Jeff, it seems like there's been an upset every week in the ACC, well, college football really, but specifically when it comes to ACC. What do you feel like is different this year, maybe in terms of just some of the talent or the kind of surprise teams making a push here in the first month and a half of the season?
Well, I think there's a lot of factors that go into teams playing well. That's beyond the coaching and players playing hard in the field. I mean, now you've got a lot of roster change every year, and there's teams adjusting their roster and doing whatever it takes to get the best roster they can. And you see some teams that are able to improve and have talented players. I just think football is a game where there's a lot of parity throughout the country. There used to be maybe 5 teams that were hands down the best ones in the country, and there's still probably a couple that are really, really good, but there's a lot of really good football teams that can win any given Saturday. We understand that, I think, as a team, but it says that you could lose every game, but it also says you could win every game. So I just think, man, you got to really lock in and just do what you can to win this one game that's coming up and put everything on it and do everything you can to get it done, and then you just move on to the next one. And if you can kind of somehow keep that mentality as a player and coach, at the end you hope that you have a record that you like. But, man, as soon as you start focusing on other things and looking ahead and being angry at what happened in the past, you're wasting critical time, and it affects the psychic of your confidence level moving forward. So I just think there's a lot of good teams out there. It's well coached. Anybody can win on a given day. And we're excited about the opportunity to play a top 25 team in our stadium, and we've got to find a way to take advantage of it.
Jeff, how did Isaac Brown and Duke Watson come out of that game, and how much of a concern is it moving forward that room is really pretty banged up?
Well, it's a concern without question, and we're going to do our part to try to get them as healthy as we can. Those guys, like a handful of others, I applaud them for playing not 100% and fighting through things. And you hope that they can get back fresh and go out there and run like they want to. But I think that's part of the game, and dealing with some nicks and dealing with some things that happen and being able to play through it, and knowing how hard you can practice as well, because sometimes you try to get them healthy for the game, but if you're not practicing, you're not going to play as well. It's just that other teams and opponents are too good, so you got to find a way to practice as much as you can, full speed, in order to kind of get yourself ready to go, because it's a challenging game against really good players. But at the same time, yes, we got to get you healthy. So I think as a player too, you got to mentally take that all in and do your part as well, as we're trying to get guys healthy to practice as much as you can. And we talk about it a lot. We want our guys to be honest with us, but if you want to play well in the game, man, you got to try to get as much practice in as you can to get yourself ready to go.
Is it too early to put your finger on a favorite for the ACC championship, or is it, is it
your
as wide
that's,
open?
That's your all's job to do that. No, I have no idea. I think, in my opinion, every year, but definitely this year, there's a lot of parity, and anybody can win, and you see it every weekend. You know, a lot of games went down to the wire. A lot of games that you maybe don't think are going to be close or close. A lot of games that you think are going to be close and they're not. I mean, it's just a matter of the small little details that matter that go into a game. So no, I really can't predict anything.
Jeff, what about defensively, Virginia? What do they do? What do they do well? And kind of looking at film, how different are they than they were last year? I know they got a lot of transfers.
Well, I think they're very similar in their style and structure, and they've done a good job on defense over the years. At times, they have good players. You can see they believe in what they're doing, and they feel comfortable in the package. They have an offense that helps them, controls the ball. They got a running quarterback who can run in, throw it, and score points. All that ties together. So when their offense is playing well, it's going to make the defense look better. But they are playing very good as a team. Extremely well. Very efficient. Not hurting themselves. Making a lot of really big plays on both sides of the ball. And right now they're a dangerous team. Okay, thank you.